Hi, welcome back to Far From Eden. So I have to confess, once upon a time I was having a conversation with a man, and he said, this was before I started my channel, before I got red pilled. He said, women lack principles. Oh my God, how can you say that? I don't lack principles, blah, 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 blah. You know, I argued a lot. And he kept talking, and I was like, he doesn't know what he's talking about, you know. And then I thought, well, maybe that's most women, I'm different, blah, blah, blah. And then I started thinking about some things, and I was like, well, wait a minute, though. And I realized what women do. And I had to see it in myself first, which I'm not proud of. But it's helped me along this journey to be able to communicate to you all what's going on. I point to the brain as if that, you know, I don't know where it comes from with women, somewhere, our feelings. I realized we definitely do not have principles, because principles are unchanging. That doesn't mean if you get more information, you change your mind about a certain thing. You can change your mind about, you know, facts, not facts, politics, whatever, when you go, oh, I didn't realize that's the way it is, so you change. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about situation to situation. You can't say, we'll take it the easy one of, well, is it really stealing? Is it really wrong if I'm starving and I steal a loaf of bread? Yes, it is. It is still stealing, and it is still wrong. That is really hard for women. That whole idea that somehow it's not different because of the circumstances. And we just think that if the reasons are a certain way or the circumstances are a certain way, then the principles or morals suddenly change. So we women are very, very good at practicing moral relativism. So this means that, you know, we can lie if it's to, you know, for a good reason. And the thing about women is that we will twist it into a good reason if we want to tell the lie bad enough. We'll tell a lie for one reason, but twist it into, well, I didn't want to hurt her feelings. I doubt that's the real reason. You know, this is what they do. So it's not that big of a stretch, because once you make one moral, you know, relative to the situation, it's all up in the air. So that's how you get to family court. And the woman's just accusation here and this here. And she's like, well, I might have exaggerated a little bit, but it's the best interest of such and such. And she is so many lies deep in her head that the truth is completely unrecognizable. Morals are completely unrecognizable. It's not held hard and fast. Lying is wrong, period. Stealing is wrong, period. Not circumstances and reasons and excuses. And this man that was telling me that women don't have principles, he was like, there's always reasons and excuses. And my thought back then was, well, sometimes there are reasons. Sometimes the excuse is valid. And I'm like, but it's really not, though. Not if that was actually a moral. Not if that was actually a principle. Use like pained look on my face. Because this is completely foreign to women. Because we're not hardwired this way. And this is not something that's expected of us. We get away with this from the time we're in elementary school. And I've learned this, as of the last few years. I'm like, the boys were treated totally differently than the girls were in elementary school for my generation. They were just, the boys got in trouble for things where the girls did not. The girls got, sympathy. Nobody felt sorry for the boys. And all that has happened is that has just gone into adulthood. That's just followed, certainly my generation, and I think a lot of the older millennials. I don't know what's going on with Gen Z right now, but it's not good. I'll tell you that. I don't think it's better. I think it's getting whatever we had, it's worse. It's definitely worse. So it doesn't just depend on the situation, right? It doesn't just depend on, if you're starving and so you steal bread. For women, it can depend on their feelings, because everything a woman does, everything a woman says she thinks, is based on how she feels right then when she does it or she says it. It's true. That's just it's how we operate. In the morning, I know this now though, I call it my woman brain. In the morning I can be like, oh, I feel like this, I think this, and I'll catch myself and be like, no, I don't, I just feel this. And sure enough, later in the day, it's totally different. So I know not to listen to that part of me. And there used to be a time in society, all societies all over the world, where men knew this and they were like, don't listen to the women, don't listen to them when they have opinions about, anything that can affect society or, the family, like a big, decision or whatever. Don't listen to the women, because what they think just ebbs and flows with their feelings. It's not anything you can go off of. The men knew you had to have order, and you had to have good and, right and wrong, good and evil. And women are like, I just don't know, because feelings. And it's honest to God truth. And I wish that more women could see this about themselves. Why are we fighting? Like, we're just making it worse. Why don't we just recognize how we are, recognize our nature, and, improve it, and stop, dragging people through the mud, blowing up our families because of it. Getting people fired from a job, or any of the backstabbing things that women do because of their feelings, and they can justify it. They're like, it's not really wrong if, well, I didn't technically lie. You'll hear that between women and women. It'll be like, well, it wasn't technically of it. If we have to talk like that amongst ourselves, we're practicing moral relativism. And I just wish that, we wouldn't get away with it anymore. But we're empowered by the state to get away with it. We're encouraged with the propaganda to get away with it. Now we're too dumb to realize that that's actually why we think what we think, is because the propaganda told us. Anyway, have a good rest of your day, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Be well.